This is a weather forecast by Joe. Hello, this is Joe bringing you the weather on Tuesday, July 1st, 2003. Here are the fronts. Right here there is a cold front coming in from Canada, and it'll enter the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, and possibly Minnesota. It'll bring storms, a clear sky, cooler temperatures, and make it windy. Right here is the other cold front. It will bring precipitation, such as rain and snow, and when it passes, there won't be any clouds. It will also be windy, and there will be lower temperatures around the area. This is coming from the Atlantic Ocean, and it will enter Virginia and North Carolina. Right here is a stationary front that is going through California, a little bit of Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and North Dakota. As you can see, the warm air mass and the cold air mass have met and are pushing against each other, but neither can move the other forward or in a different direction. Now, because the cold air mass will overrule the warm air mass, it'll bring precipitation, rain, snow, and it'll make it cloudy and foggy. This all will last for days. There will also be pretty cool temperatures that'll also last for quite a while. Right here is another stationary front. This is going through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, and a little bit of North Dakota, and it is going in into the Atlantic Ocean. It will be rainy, snowy, cloudy, and foggy for days, and there will be a lot cooler temperatures than normal. Right here is an occluded front. This is the most complex weather situation. The warm air mass is trapped and therefore is being pushed up by the two cold air masses, which will eventually meet. And because the warm air is rising, the ground level temperature will get colder and therefore will cut off the warm air mass itself. Now these are the pressure areas. As you can see, there is low pressure right here in an area of Canada. This area is higher, which is why there's low pressure, and therefore there will be less force pushing on the area with low pressure. There will also be a little bit less gravity. Right here is another low pressure area. Is in part of Arizona and Mexico. There's probably low pressure around here because the altitude is higher. As you know, the air pressure decreases as your altitude increases. Here's another low pressure area. It's just barely not in Louisiana, but in Mississippi and Alabama, and partially where the precipitation area is. Because there is low pressure around here, there is less force pushing on people who are around. Right here on the edge of Canada and in the ocean partially, and right by the occluded front, there's another low pressure area. Because there is low pressure around here, the ground level must be higher. Here is a high pressure area that is in Michigan, 3 of the 5 Great Lakes, part of Canada, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, a little bit of Indiana, West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia. The altitude is obviously lower here, which is causing the high pressure. Since there is high pressure, it means that there is more force pushing down on you if you're in the area. There is also high pressure here in the Atlantic Ocean. The water level is probably lower, which is causing the high pressure. No people will experience it around here because nobody will be in the ocean. Here are the precipitation areas. There's precipitation right here around Canada, the Pacific, and the Pacific Ocean partially. There was also precipitation around here in Canada. However, there were no fronts around here, but there was still precipitation. As you can see right here, there is a larger area of precipitation in Arkansas, Tennessee, a little bit of Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. There is low pressure around where some of the precipitation was, which could have caused it. Right here, because there is low pressure, there will be cyclones around this area in Canada. The warm air will rise and cool air will drop and go down. Right here in Arizona and Mexico, there's low pressure, which will also bring a cyclone, or cyclones. Here, there will be a swirling center of low air pressure. Right here in this part of Canada, there will also be cyclones. Now, because this is in the northern hemisphere along with the others, it will spin counterclockwise. There will also be cyclones around here in this low pressure area in Mississippi and Alabama, and a little part of Florida. Now, as the air rises, the area around will cool. Right here in part of Canada, there is also low pressure, which will bring cyclones, and as the air rises, the area will cool, forming clouds and precipitation. Right here, in this whole area, there's high pressure, which will bring anticyclones. Therefore, there will be a center of dry air, and winds will spiral outward from the center, moving toward areas of lower pressure. Right here in the Atlantic Ocean, there's high pressure, bringing anticyclones. They will spin clockwise, and cool air will be moving downward, which warms up the area, and therefore it will cause dry and clear weather. Now for the temperature for the day. Here's the maximum temperature. So, around California, Oregon, Washington, Montana, part of Wyoming, part of Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Michigan, Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, a little bit of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. It will be 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. In this small little area of Minnesota, it will be 60 to 70 degrees. In part of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, California, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, Louisiana, and Florida, it'll be 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now in this part of Arizona, it'll be over 100 degrees. This is the hottest parts of the maximum temperature for this day. Here's the minimum temperature for the day. On the edge of Florida, right there, it'll be 80 to 90 degrees. This is the warmest area of the minimum temperature for the day. In part of Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, it'll be 70 to 80 degrees. And in part of parts of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, part of Oregon, Washington, and a little bit of Idaho, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Wisconsin, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Maine. It will be 60 to 70 degrees. Now in part of California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, a little bit of Kansas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, a little bit of Kentucky, Ohio, a little bit of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and Vermont. It'll be 50 to 60 degrees. Here are the air masses for the day. Around here is a continental tropical air mass. It is in part of Canada, but it does have low pressure, and it's over land. Here's another continental tropical air mass. This is over land, as you can see, and it's in a warmer area, and part of Arizona and Mexico. This area will be drier. Around here is a continental polar air mass. There are cooler temperatures around here, especially because of the two cold fronts and the occluded front. But there is low pressure, however, and it's over land. Right here is also a continental polar air mass. It is over land, but is cooler because of the precipitation. But there is low pressure. Right here is a continental tropical air mass. There is high pressure, but it's over land. But there is a little bit of warm air around. Right here for this day, there's the one and only maritime polar air mass. It is over the Atlantic Ocean. There's high pressure, and it'll probably be a bit cooler around here. Thanks for watching my weather forecast.